Okay, everyone, we're back. We've got a few people joining us, so I'm hoping they can hear us. If they can't, just let us know in chat if you can't hear us. Excuse me. We're so excited to get started with our second mentor this morning. This is Joey, and is it Poirier? Am I saying that right?
Poirier, yeah.
Poirier, excellent. And Joey has his own construction company, so he is a business owner. So Joey, do you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself and
Sure,
your position?
yeah. Um, so, as said, my name is Joey, and I'm the owner operator of Joey Poirier Construction in Shetty Camp in Cape Breton. I am a Red Seal carpenter by trade. Um, I've been working in the trade for almost 20 years now. Um, I apologize if it seems like I'm reading. It's because I am. I put together this presentation, but I haven't had time to go over it a whole lot, so bear with me. First of all, I'm really happy that I was asked to do this because I do have a passion to inspire young people to become successful and do what they love to do what they want to do. So I'm happy to be here. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the carpentry trade and a little bit about my journey and um, what I did to get to where I am today. So when I graduated high school, I honestly didn't have much of a clue what I wanted to do at that time. Um, my cousin had graduated a year before me and was in a protective security course in Truro. So it seemed kind of interesting to me, so I figured I would follow in his footsteps and give that a try. Uh, Quickly realized that wasn't for me though. After a short stint in Truro, I moved back home and I had the opportunity to sign up for a series of workshops where they presented a number of careers to you. It was paid workshops for about 5 weeks or so, and they presented a bunch of careers. And after seeing the presentation on carpentry, I decided that that seemed pretty interesting and I'd give that a try. So I signed up for the apprenticeship program through NSCC and I went to work for a local contractor. It took me about 5 years to get all my hours and to complete all the blocks to get my red seal. Back then, I think you needed 2,000 hours per block for a total of 8,000 hours. Now I believe they scaled it back to about 1,800 hours per block for a total of 7,200 hours. So about 6 years ago, I decided to start my own construction business. Um, I'm not entirely sure what made me choose this career in the beginning, but I can tell you what I like about it now. Um, I like that we're helping people. People need a home to keep them safe, warm, and dry. People come to us when their roof needs repairs, for example. We replace their shingles and give them a new roof, thus helping them stay dry and preventing further damage to their home. Another example could be when someone brings me a set of plans, could be for a new home, possibly their dream home, or an addition to their existing home, maybe to suit their growing family. Whatever the case may be, they bring me the plans and we build it for them, thus delivering them their desired or needed space of their dreams. Besides doing work on other people's homes, I've also purchased a couple of abandoned properties for myself and completely renovated them to keep them and turn into rental units. I absolutely love taking an abandoned building or an old building and restoring it and giving it new life and making it better than it ever was. That's probably one of my favorite things about the trade. It's also nice and rewarding when you get positive feedback from neighbors, happy to see the eyesore of the neighborhood finally getting fixed up, or getting calls or messages from people with ties to the property, happy to see it being restored instead of torn down. Um, In terms of additional training or experience beneficial to succeeding in your trade, I would say this. Whatever your field of choice is, learn as much as you can about it. Never stop learning. Strive to be the best. The more you can learn, the more you can do, the more value you bring, the more money you will earn. Like in construction, for example, if I have a house that I need to build, well, who on the site do you think is being paid the most? The lead person, obviously, the one that knows how to get things done and can manage the site and the people working under him or her. So as an apprentice starting out, you want to be eager to learn as much as you can from these people who are more experienced. You want to also learn from the best in your field. For me in the construction industry, for example, it's following and learning from people like Brian Baumler, Mike Holmes, Scott McGilvery. I want to be the best, therefore I surround myself with the best. Um, if anybody knows who Brian Baumler is, he's on HGTV. He's had TV shows like Disaster DIY and Island of Brian and House of Brian. He actually has a program much like the Better Business Bureau. It's called Baumler Approved. You have to qualify to be in that program. You have to submit references of people that you've done work for. You have to submit references of people that you've worked with in the trade, like sub-trades or whatever. You have to maintain your insurance. You have to maintain your licenses, all this kind of stuff. I'm very proud to say that my company is Baumler approved, as well as we are also in the Better Business Bureau. We're also with the Canadian Home Builders Association. Like we're well licensed, qualified company, I guess I should say.
Joey, can I ask a question? I'm just kind of wondering, you talked about making the money, and I know I've had a number of carpenters here lately, and I think they're Red Seal, but they're making about $35 an hour. That's what I'm paying them. Is that kind of what they can expect once they're Red Seal? What do you see in the industry for pay?
So it kind of depends on the market you're in. It can also depend on whether or not, like we're a residential company, so you're not going to make the same amount of money hourly wise working for a company like myself in doing residential work as you might if you're working in a union job, for example. Union gets paid more, but they're commercial work. I never did like commercial work. I was in the Carpenters Union before. I never worked an hour for them. I like what we do. I like residential work. And I have guys on my staff that have been in the union themselves too. And they actually prefer working for me as well, I think, because we're more steady, I think. Like when you're in a union, you can work on a big job, but then you might have a little downtime between jobs, where we're pretty well year round. Like there's not a whole lot of downtime. So it's a little bit less hourly, but probably works out to about the same, or I feel you might even make more. Like if you're qualified for me, like my top guys, for example, make $28 an hour currently. Plus we have a benefits package, so they get the dental and medical and all this kind of stuff as well, right? So it's
Yeah, that's excellent.
And yeah, so I feel it's rewarding financially and all that kind of stuff too. And I'll speak more about that in this next section, which I'm trying to address the questions that were on the paper. Like,
Oh, okay, excellent. I'll let you do your thing.
what's a typical work day look like at Joey Poirier Construction? Well, for the crew members, their work day starts at 8 a.m. typically and ends at 4:30 with a half hour lunch break at noon and a 15-minute break at 10 and again at 3. They get the 7 statutory holidays off with pay. For me as the business owner, things are a little bit different. There's not really any typical. Each day brings some new challenges and hurdles to jump over and navigate around. My day starts at 5:30 in the morning with a coffee in my office, going through emails, working on estimates, invoicing, promoting on social media, organizing paperwork for my bookkeeper, and so on. 8 to 4:30, I'm usually out in the field managing and keeping things organized on all 4 to 5 sites we have going on at the same time, running for materials, tools, dealing with staff, client questions, as well as inspectors, and so on. Most days I eat my lunch on the go. Um, After hours, I sometimes have 1 to 2 meetings scheduled with potential new clients or existing customers. Sometimes I'll be working on estimates or office work in the evening as well. My weekends bring more of the same. I do like to watch my nieces play hockey on the weekends, but that doesn't mean that I get to take the whole days off. I'm still in my office at 5:30 in the mornings. I might be on a job site from 8 to 11:30, for example, cleaning up, organizing, or doing some sort of work. Then drive to Port Hood to watch a game that starts at 1 and ends at 2:30, and then drive back and be back here for 4 and doing some more work, office work. Or when you have 15 or more employees, depending on you for a paycheck, you need to be committed to the business and to keeping things running as smooth as possible. Um, that being said, so entrepreneurship and business ownership to this scale is not for everybody. It's a huge commitment, but you can. If I would have had somewhere to work, like I think I provide, back when, I may not have started my own, because you can be committed and give 100% and be rewarded if the right environment is there. Like, if you're working in an environment or working for a boss that's not going to be good or rewarding or whatever, then you're probably not going to want to commit as much. I provide the opportunity that if you want to commit to my company and you want to do the best you can, and you can work more hours, and the feeling is that the more the company is going to succeed, the more you're going to be rewarded for it, above and beyond hourly wage. Like, we're only a 6-year-old company. We're still growing. We're still expanding. And I tell my guys, don't look at just your hourly rate. Look at making the company as big as it can be. And I promise you, everybody's going to be rewarded in the end. There was a question about COVID. COVID has in some way affected everything and everyone. Construction was deemed an essential service and therefore was never shut down through COVID, but we were and still are affected in other ways. When it all started, of course, we had to put some protocols and procedures in place. Construction materials took a spike in price while quantities dropped. I'm finding myself having to hit multiple building supplies all over Cape Breton to gather enough materials to do one job. That's something we've never experienced before, and it certainly makes things more challenging. So to finish up, I'd like to say a few things. If you do have an interest in this field in carpentry, number one, go for it, because I see a huge demand for more carpenters out there. I myself would like to hire more experienced carpenters as well as apprentices to grow my business. So if you're looking for a place to start, don't be shy to give me a shout. I'm not hard to find. I think I have a couple minutes left, and I'd also like to speak to not only the trades or carpenters. Like I said before, I have a passion for harnessing young people's dreams and goals. I would be very disappointed if anyone has a dream or a goal or what they want to do in life to be discouraged by adults, whether it be teachers or parents or whatever. Um, I have lots of examples I could go over. I have one that I wrote down just before this started. Stan Lee, if anybody knows Stan Lee, creator of Spider-Man and lots of other things. When Stan Lee created Spider-Man, he was laughed at. So he didn't give up. He kept going. So don't ever let someone's doubting you allow you to doubt yourself. Does Sidney Crosby have God-given talent? Maybe a little bit. Sidney Crosby is the best hockey player in the world because when other kids were out fooling around, Sidney Crosby was shooting pucks in the basement. Nothing is impossible. Anything is possible if you want to commit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true about so many different things, from schooling to personal life to, whatever it is you want to do in life. I totally agree with you, Joey. Um, Anybody has any questions, your teachers are welcome to put your mic on, or you can type them in the chat and we'll ask Joey any questions that you have. I know here I've been getting carpenters is really tough. There's such a demand for carpenters right now, and finding somebody that's available. Most of the carpenters that I know are booking into next summer and into the fall. So, there's tons of jobs. And we do have a question in the chat. Middleton Regional High would like to know, where did you go to school?
I went to NSCC in Sydney.
In Sydney?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where did you go to high school as well?
Oh, NDA here in Shetty Camp.
And yeah, perfect.
Fun,
I don't know if we have them on the call today or not. I don't
think so, but fun fact, I do see there's a comment from École Rose des Vents. My brother, Ryan Poirier, just moved back home to be the principal here, but he was a teacher and vice principal at École Rose des Vents for years.
Oh.
Yeah.
That might have been why they said hello. Maybe they recognized your name. So that would be awesome. Yep. École Rose des Vents joined us today. Down in the valley. So we talked about demand. I know how much demand there is. And how do you find it? It's not completely carpentry, but the work-life balance as a business owner. How do you find that?
It's all in how you take it, I suppose. Myself, I don't know the term I use. I'm a workaholic in a sense. I just have a vision of what I want to accomplish, and I mean, I don't like saying no to work. The work we're booking into, I mean, we still take smaller jobs like all the time, but for big jobs, like I have work starting now in 2024.
That's crazy.
Work-life balance. I mean, I'm always available. Like I said, I have nieces that are playing hockey that I like to go watch, and I'm always there for my family. My family's everything to me. But they're also why, excuse me. They're also why I work as hard as I do. Like, I want to create something I want to create a legacy that I can
Am I on?
be proud of.
Yep, Jason.
Can you hear me?
We're just finishing up with the other
I gotta turn the
mentor,
volume up
so
right here.
we'll just be a second.
Maybe.
Joey, we do have one question from Bridgewater Junior High, actually. They want to know, how difficult did you find the schooling for carpentry?
I didn't find it too bad. There's two ways you can do that you can get into carpentry or probably any trade. You can do it the way I did it, which is apprenticeship. So apprenticeship, you do 4 blocks of, I believe it was 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks each in school, and then you put in the hours on the job site. That's my preferred method because I find you learn a lot more on the job site than I do in school anyways, because I'm a hands-on person, right? The other way you can do it is you can go to school for 2 years, so 4 years. That's not for me. I'm not, like I said, I learn more on the job. Um, but yeah, I didn't find it too difficult.
Okay, excellent. One other question, or two other questions here, both from the same school. How many hours a week are you usually working, and how many hours are your employees typically working?
My employees work 40 to 48, depending on which guys. Like some guys work 40, some guys work 48. Myself, hard to keep track. I'm not like I'm all over the place. Like I probably have like 5 teams, so I have 5 sites going on at the same time. So my time is more spent going from site to site than actually on one job site working physically with the guys. Sometimes I'll be doing that, but most times it's all over the place managing everything, and in the office doing the estimates and billings and meeting with clients. So um, if I tracked all my time, I probably work 70 hours a week or something like that.
Wow. But that is kind of the life as an entrepreneur. A lot of the times is it's your own business, so you're responsible for everything, and it's success. And of course, when you've got a team of guys counting on you to make sure that there's work and that there's money to pay them, it certainly is a rewarding but a lot of work as an entrepreneur.
Correct.
Yeah, excellent. Any last questions for Joey before we let him get back to the job site? We're taking his time. Thank you so much, Joey, for spending some time with us today. I know how important the trades are and how short the trades are on workers right now. So I know, hearing about these trades, how much money you can make and just how many job opportunities are out there is amazing. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if anybody has any questions for Joey that we didn't get a chance to do, then we can send them to him and he'll get back to us and we'll get back to you on those. Excellent.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, Joey. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.